Welcome to The Funny Kind with Erica Gumieny, bringing heart, humor, and hope to everyday life. Laughter and love really do make a difference, and Erica's here to prove it. Part deep dive, part stand up for the soul. This show blends humor, heart, and real talk to help you stop believing the lies that hold you back. Whether she's flying solo or chatting with guests, Erica brings her signature mix of authenticity, wit, and wisdom, reminding you that growth doesn't have to be so serious. So pull up a chair, exhale, and get ready to laugh, reflect, and reconnect with the extraordinary human you already are. Because this is The Funny Kind, where humor meets healing and inspiration meets action.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this awesome episode. You are in for a treat. I have an amazing guest with us today that every time I talk to her, I joked with her that she needs to carry around a button that says press record, because every time we talk, I'm like, oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. So this is going to be good. I promise. No pressure. So before we get started, I want to introduce Amy Lindner, our guest. So hello, Amy, welcome.
Thank you so much, Erica.
Yay. Okay, so let me just give you a snapshot into who Amy is. You know, bios are great, but they never really give the full picture of who a person is, but I'm going to give it my best and just want to give you a little window into this awesome woman. So Amy Lindner is the president and CEO of United Way of Greater Milwaukee in Waukesha County and is committed to fighting for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in our local community. Under Amy's leadership, United Way raised more than $425 million for the community since 2018. Amazing. Previously, Amy served as the president and CEO of Meta House, a Milwaukee-based nonprofit whose mission is to end the generational cycle of addiction by healing women and strengthening families. And Amy was also a partner of the law firm Reinhardt Berner Van Duren, which is one of the nation's 200 largest law firms. So just a few amazing things about Amy. My favorite thing about Amy, which is many, and we have only tapped into our connection, but when Amy walks into a room, she carries with her just a confidence that isn't a boastful look at me. It's just, she just walks with an air of worthiness. And I just see that in you, Amy, and it's wonderful to see somebody with that feels so authentically who they are.
That's a lovely compliment, Erica. And also it hurts my heart a little bit because I think the reason you notice it is because it isn't common enough. There are not enough of us walking around with that deep-seated belief that whatever room we are in, we have the right to be in that room.
Yeah, amen. Truth. So that brings me to our topic for today. For those of you that have been following along, every month we choose a theme that ties in with, you know, shameless plug, my book, Journey of the Ashes, which I just love. And every month is a theme that really talks about the lies that we have been holding on to, that we are ready to stop believing and reclaim the truth of who we are. And so this month in August is worthy. And that is a really deep word. And it can mean a lot of different things. And so as I started to think about worthy and who would I love to have a deep talk about this with, Amy came to mind. And we've had a couple different talks about this that kind of went in some different directions. And when I was thinking of worthy, I was thinking, and United Way and service, I was thinking, let's go in the direction of service and how everyone deserves to be cared for and to have dignity and is worthy regardless of their station in life. And so when Amy and I had our kind of second recap planning talk, you kind of redirected the conversation in the best way. And I would love for you to kind of talk a little bit about that and what your feelings are when it comes to this talk of worthiness, worth.
Yeah, you bet, Erica. The way you just said it, I mostly love like this idea that service is wonderful, that everybody is in a position to help sometimes, everybody is deserving of help when they need it. Like those concepts, I think, are wonderful and really foundational, I think, to where some of my confidence comes from. But you also had talked about this idea that service can be a place from which we can generate worth. And that's mostly right. Like I do think it feels really good to help other people when you're in a position to do that. But what I pushed back on is this idea that we have to kind of earn our worth by being of service to others or by any other way, that the idea that worth is something that is external to us, that people can bestow upon us or worse, withhold from us. And you and I kind of deepened the conversation about, I just don't see it that way at all. And I want more people to think about this idea that you don't need anybody or anything external to yourself to bestow your worth, because it is already inherent inside of you.
And when you said the word inherent, I was like, oh my gosh, sometimes we say words and we're like, I don't even know what that means. And so this word inherent is existing as a natural and permanent quality of someone. And so it's within us. So talk a little bit more about how have you always felt that within you?
I have not always felt that within me. I would love to say that yes, but maybe it's better that I feel like I had a journey to that idea. I think many, many, many of us are either have achieved that through a journey or maybe are on a journey towards achieving it, maybe for more of us. But no, I mean, the world tells us so many stories, so many untruths about the thing that is going to make you worthy. There are people who are chasing goodness, however they define it, however their church defines it, or their parents define it. There are people who are chasing money. There are people who are chasing a certain dress size. There are people who are chasing a certain bicep size, right? Like you name it. Yeah. There is someone out there somewhere telling you the thing that you should be chasing. I just learned the phrase today, hip dip, which is just like, inventing a new way for women to feel insecure about their bodies. It doesn't matter how hard you chase all of those external things. They are not achievable by any of us. They're certainly not permanently achievable. But the good news, that's bad news, I guess. But the good news is I don't think we have to chase them. We are, as you've already said the word inherent, but we are worthy by the very fact of our existence. And whatever it is your faith system in terms of like why we exist or how we exist. It is really central to my beliefs that we all have value, full stop. And
I love it when you said that in our talk and that you said it again today, full stop.
Full stop. Like we have value. And I think for some of us in our own traditions, when we look around at other people, we either already believe that or we are training ourselves to believe that, right? Like you see these other people, these incredible women, these incredible men, just people all across our community, and you see somebody and you're like, oh, I love this about them, or I love that about them, or I admire so much this thing or that thing. And even when you see somebody who maybe isn't your cup of tea, many of us have sort of a practice of trying to say like, okay, like there is something in there, maybe I can find it, or maybe I should just assume that it's in there, even if I can't see it in, this moment or in my dealings with this person. And one of the things you and I have talked about is when we look at ourselves, we don't always bring that same kindness. Like even if we're great at seeing the good in other people, it's more of a journey for some of us to see that in ourselves. And, to your point, like, yes, that has been a journey for me, but it's one that I was really dedicated to being on, not only because I think it's good for all of us, but also because for me, it is so connected to my belief about community and service and philanthropy, which is, in my view, I don't need to know the whole story of somebody standing in front of me who needs help. They're a person who needs help. And if I'm in a position to do something about that, I want to try to do something about that. And so that person, in my view, doesn't have to earn my help. If I have it to give, I want it. I want to be able to give it. And if I'm going to try to see that in every person standing in front of me in our community, whether I get to see them or not, why would it be any less true for me? Like it's almost I hesitate to use this word, but it's almost an arrogance to think there's something specifically or specially awful about me that exempts me from this broader view that all people are good. And that all people have good within them, and all people are worthy of lots of things, of, when we can do it, trust, of kindness, of help, of being. And I think when we see that in others, as we practice that, my hope is maybe that's one step stool to seeing it in ourselves.
Am I okay? First of all, everybody, am I right or am I right? Like, hit record. Like, are you jotting down everything that you just heard? When you, I love if everyone is worthy, aren't you everyone?
Yes.
Aren't you one of the everyone?
Yes.
And to think you had said something, and I wish I would have recorded everything we've ever talked about. But you had said something about what a waste of time looking at time spent on deficiencies is not time well spent. And Amy, I wish I would have met you. I've spent a lifetime of focusing on that, and fixing what was wrong and focusing. And then remember when everything kind of changed in the business world, where it was like, we don't focus on weaknesses, we focus on strengths. And it's like culture shifted to focusing on what we're really good at. For those of us, and I've mentioned this on other episodes, I have a genetic, I don't know if it's genetic, I don't know what word to use, a natural negative soundtrack that I am rewiring every day. That if I make a mistake, I manage myself by fear. I'm like the worst boss. So that is something that like you had said, you feeling that worthiness within you has been something you have mindfully focused on. And that's why you show up in a room and people are like, wait, something's different. And I know you said that it breaks your heart, but it's like, dang it, that's awesome. That's just awesome. And I feel like old Erica, if she said, oh my gosh, I'm going to be talking to the president and CEO and a lawyer, and I don't know, what if I make them, who cares? We are everyone, and we are having a wonderful conversation as two people who are doing their best.
That's exactly right, Erica. And, a couple things come to mind for me. And I guess it's back to this idea of like, we are everyone. So if you think about, if you've ever been in a position, we all have, like whether you're a formal boss in your workplace, whether you're thinking about how you talk to children, how you talk to the neighbor, how you talk to anybody, we all know that it's more productive to speak with kindness in every possible circumstance, right? That doesn't mean you never have a crossword for anybody, but if you're trying to get something accomplished, if you're trying to have a colleague understand, like, hey, if you work a little further ahead, we won't be rushed at the end and we'll feel better about the end product. Or if you're trying to tell a little one, like, hey, when you're not truthful with me about how the lamp got broken, like, we can't work together to fix it, right? Like, whatever it is, we all know that yelling, speaking with unkindness, blaming people, like nobody reacts well to that. So again, why would we be any different? If there is something truly that you want to change in yourself, and that's okay. Like, I'm not saying there aren't opportunities for growth for all of us, me included. Good Lord, yes. But the way that I get there is not being mean to myself. Like when I say to myself, you're such a dum-dum, you didn't go to the gym today. Like, well, how does that make me feel? And if instead I say like, hey, I hope to get to the gym today, that didn't happen, I'm going to redouble my efforts to get there tomorrow. Right? Like it just feels different inside your head. I love that you're pointing out the narratives we tell ourselves, because those are some of the most ingrained, most powerful narratives that exist. So if we can shift them from being unduly negative towards being more positive, like what a good that would be. And when I first thought about this, I wasn't even particularly thinking about myself. It's something I learned from Jennifer Bartolotta, who is just such this incredible teacher in our community and beyond. You know, I was still working through a lot of body image stuff that I've been really really diligent about trying to get out of my own brain on. And what she said to me is, there is so much you are trying to accomplish professionally in the community. You have all these ambitions of ways you want to help our community be better. What could you be thinking about if you weren't thinking about your thighs? And I thought, oh my God, why am I thinking about my thighs? Who cares? Like, who cares?
My gosh.
I care about family stability. I care about overcoming addiction. I care about people reducing barriers to people get a job. I care about mental wellness. Like, that stuff compared to the circumference of my thighs, good grief. Like, who
that is
cares?
so good. You know, how much, and our society is so self-focused, like self-help, you know, and after writing this book, which took me 15 years from the time I thought of it until it finally came out, of all kinds of stuff. And once I was done, I'm like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm so sick of it, you know, like, enough. Like, when you're done, like I don't want to talk about it anymore because I've healed so much of it. And yet I know that that's my mission field, is to help other people. I'm self-aware on steroids. Other people are like, I didn't even realize that I can change that narrative in my head. I didn't. It's so I had a person on a couple episodes ago, and she said, who says? And I was like, yeah. And I was just coaching a girl who's trying to give up e-cigarettes, which is super duper addictive. And she was making her way up the stairs, and she had a thought, and she was working through it, how she was like, oh, you deserve it. You had this stressful day. And we were talking about it, and I'm like, well, who told you that? And she's like, well, I don't know who told me that. Like, I wouldn't tell myself that. That's dumb. You know, like, so it was just like, oh, it's so great when we realize that there's something else in there that needs to be pulled out. And that's so awesome.
It is, you know, Erica, I want to just offer a lot of grace and a lot of kindness to all of us who have absorbed all of these messages. There is every industry in the world that is trying to sell us something, right? And sometimes it's something awesome and good and additive and solves a problem in your life, and yay. But so often it is something you don't need, you don't want, that doesn't actually make you feel better or more complete or more full. It is just empty. I'll say empty calories, whether it's food or not food, just stuff that that somebody has decided that if they can make you scared or make you feel bad about yourself, they're more likely to be able to sell you something. And that will remain true as long as we keep accepting that and we keep feeding into that. But the more we can try to divorce ourselves from that and say, when I go to the gym, I'm really not trying to go, or I'm trying not to go because someone else has told me it'll make my body look away more acceptable to somebody else, right? But more about like how I feel when I'm regularly working out. Like, I feel more rested, I feel more calm, I feel stronger, things that are important to me, not something that is being peddled to me by someone who stands to make a dollar somewhere.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. And it's so, you know, as I've really been focused on entrepreneur solo now, you know, stepped away from full-time work and really just focusing on my own business, I'm finding that it's rampant in small business. Sign up for this program. Let me take, you know, you want to be this. Well, take our $15,000 program and you too can be a great, and I'm like, yeah, it just really pulls on that. For me, like, because of the way that I was raised, I had a habit. I might not be using the right words, but being discontent in the situation that I was in when I was younger was smart. You don't want to stay in that situation. It's good for you to dream and hope and see something else and work towards something else. That's great. But it kind of became a habit of if then thinking for me. And I find myself still, it's harder for me to just be content and to be realized, like I always say, I am walking in answered prayers. Like I'm in a place now that I prayed for, and I'm still like, well, yeah, but maybe if I get that, then I'll be worthy enough. Maybe if I get that, then I'll be good enough. Maybe if that happens, then I'll be happy. Maybe if all of my, at one point, all my wrinkles went away. I was real focused on that for a while. I always joke about my 11s. I just did a funny episode with my friend where we created a fake product called PermaSpac. Like where we put spackle on my 11s. I'm like, look, see, you can't see my wrinkles now. And it's like, my whole message is like loving myself for who I am. This is who I am. I got deep wrinkles because I think deeply and I smile big. So that's who I am. Like me or don't like me. I like me. It's fine.
I like you too, Erica. What you're talking about is so complicated because there are two things that are simultaneously true. We are worthy in my mind, full stop, regardless of anything external of us. And we can determine to some extent, to a reasonably big extent, how we're going to see our own set of circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is also okay to want to strive and push and grow and improve our circumstances. Where the mistake comes in, I think, is when people think that external change is going to change us internally.
Yeah.
That if we're this size, this wealth, this popular, this whatever, that means we are going to be happy inside. And I'm so sorry that anyone who hasn't already figured this out, there are very thin, very wealthy, very quote unquote popular people who are miserable.
Yes.
And we all know people who are in a body that looks different than what the world says is the ideal body, and are not at the top of the economic pyramid. And when you interact with them, you feel their peace, you feel their joy. And that isn't saying that like, hey, life isn't harder if you have less resources. Of course it is, right? But one doesn't follow the other. We, as we learn to think about our own thoughts and be mindful about the energy we want to try to carry and the thought we want to bring and the gratitude we want to bring, life gets better regardless of what else is happening for you.
I'm remembering what we talked about. Speaking of full stop, you had the best analogy metaphor of a piggy bank.
Oh, yeah.
Can you do you remember that?
Yeah. A colleague of mine brought this up once because we were talking about a shared colleague who was really unhappy in their work and our frustration that this person was unhappy, that we wanted them to be happy in their role. And it just didn't seem like a new title, a raise, all the things that like, these things are nice, right? But it didn't seem to matter how much of that came. This person remained unhappy. And the image my colleague gave me was the idea of like the classic piggy bank with the slot in the top and the stopper on the bottom, that there are people who like the stopper just isn't in, that the stopper is disconnected from the piggy bank. So then it ends up, no matter how much you plug into the top, it all just comes falling out of the bottom.
Yeah.
And if we like stretch the metaphor, I think there's something about the idea of worth that connects to that stopper. When someone, because I mostly feel like I'm mostly okay, like sometimes good, sometimes great, sometimes a little subpar, but I'm okay. Like as I am, I'm okay, I'm good. Because I believe that at a deep, like cellular level, when someone gives me a compliment, you know what I say, Erica? I say thank you. I don't say, oh no, everyone, like I don't tell somebody they're wrong when they're telling me something nice about myself. I just try to say thank you. And sometimes, somebody will say like, oh, I love that speech you gave. And I'll say, thank you. I worked really hard at it. So that's extra awesome to hear, right?
Mhm.
It's okay to like, give some context somewhere, but how Wisconsin is it to be like, hey, I love your dress. Oh, thanks. It was on sale, right?
All
Like,
right, I got it at a thrift store for $1. Yeah.
and that's fine, whatever,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah.
But if someone's saying nice things about you, like maybe entertain the idea that it's true
Yeah.
and say thank you.
Yeah. And that stopper, I think a good question for us all to think about is, what is your stopper? If you don't have one, think about it. For me, what changed for me is receiving and understanding and believing that I was unconditionally loved by God. For me, that was my journey, because I didn't feel a lot of unconditional love when I was growing. And so that shifted. And then, you know what else? I'm just thinking, the Four Agreements book. Like, if you say something to me like, Erica, you are not funny. I'm like, I totally disagree with you. I am not receiving that, because that's crazy. Right. But if you said something like, well, Erica, you're whatever, and I agreed with it inside, then it bothers me.
Mm.
And so I feel like I've been thinking about that ever since you shared it. Like, I want my stopper to be airtight. And I also, nobody can put anything in if it doesn't pass through me.
Perfect.
I own my own. I love this age. I do. I'm so much more. I have so much more protection for myself now than I used to.
And I think that comes, Erica, however someone gets there. Therapy, faith, mindfulness, whatever combination of things resonate for
Mhm.
you. When you get to that idea that I have these things, I know these things inherently about myself, it
Mm.
gets so much easier to decide what to let in and what not to let in. If
Yes.
you think about how protective most of us are about our own homes, who you invite in, who you let in, some people are so much less discerning when it comes to their brains and their bodies. And I don't even mean just in physical relationships. I mean, somebody has said something to you. Are you going to accept that as true? Is
Mm.
that something that you're going to let keep rattling around in your
Oh,
brain and ruminate on for days or weeks or years? Maybe if it has value to you, if you love it, if it resonates with you, by all means. But if it's coming from somebody who you don't know, who you don't love, who you don't value,
mhm,
who you don't believe values you, why would
mhm.
you let them in that way? You
Yeah.
wouldn't invite that person over to dinner, but you're going to let their comment to you rattle
Mm.
around in your brain for
Mhm.
goodness knows how long.
Yes.
I'm saying this as if it's easy. I know it's human. We take stuff in, but if you've accidentally taken in garbage, try to take the garbage out. Try to
Yeah,
get it
only
out
in that time can you let the stopper out. Shake all that
Yes.
out. Restart.
Right,
Get a new
right,
stopper, really well sealed, maybe a new
yeah.
bank. I mean, we can go shopping. It's fine. Well, I'm telling you, this could be a 4-hour discussion. I am so grateful that you spent this time with us, and that you opened your heart and your mind to all of us, and shared your experience and your wisdom. I do want to bring back the concept of United Way. Such an amazing organization, so much wonderful work being done in our community. I will share the link for volunteering. Um, I do want to just end with that thought that you had about the difference of helping from a grounded place. That we all say that part again, just how everyone needs help sometimes, what you said.
Everyone needs help sometimes, and everyone is in a position to help. Sometimes we hear people at United Way saying, like, oh, I couldn't donate very much. I could only donate $5 or I could only donate $10, as if that is not in itself a gift, which of course it is. Like sometimes people can give a different amount of time, of dollars, of
Mhm.
effort, but there is nobody I have ever met that does not have something of value to give to other people. And if what you have to give today is a kind word or a smile or an hour or $5 or $500, when you look around your community and think, my gift made a difference for somebody else, like, man, what a powerful way to be connected to community, and for many of us to live our own values of thinking that I am part of this ecosystem that is my community. And my goal every day is to be part of it in a way that lightens the load for other people.
Yeah. I want to drop as many coins and piggy banks that I can.
Yes.
And I love that it's not to prove anything other than we are everyone.
It's a way of being.
So good. Oh,
yes.
Well, thank you, Amy, so much. We'd love to have you back. I'm sure that we're going to hear lots of great comments. So thank you so much for everything that you are doing. You are making such a difference, and I appreciate you so very much.
Thank you, Erica. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys on the next episode of The Funny Kind. Thanks so much for listening and tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in to The Funny Kind with Erica Gumieny, where humor meets healing and inspiration meets action. If this episode made you laugh, think, or become inspired, be sure to like, share, and tell a friend who could use a dose of heart and humor today. And don't forget to tune in to The Funny Kind, right here on Transformation Talk Radio for more real talk, big laughs, and light bulb moments. Want to connect with Erica and learn more about turning your pivotal moments into powerful growth? Visit yourpivotalpoint.com. Until next time, keep laughing, keep loving, and keep spreading a little bit of funny and a whole lot of kind.